Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to What the Flick. I am Christy. That is Alonso. Matt is here. Matt's feeling vaguely better.
Vaguely.
You're here, though.
Yes.
You're upright. You got in your car and you drove to work today.
You're perpendicular.
We're happy to see you.
Thank you.
You actually are. You're sitting in a chair. So we have reviews coming out tomorrow. Tonight, Matt and I are going to go see Breaking In, starring Gabrielle Union, who has to break in.
Which I'm dying to see. I'm pissed I'm going to miss tonight's screening, but
Yes.
I'm totally going to buy a ticket this weekend.
It looks fun. It reminds me of, and I'm blanking on the name, what's the Halle Berry movie where she, with the minivan?
Kidnap.
Kidnap, right. So this is like Kidnap, but in a house.
Wait, what was the one where she answers the call?
The Call.
Oh,
yeah,
The
The
Call.
That's
right.
the Call, where she's the
right.
911 operator.
So,
Let's just cut to the chase on these titles.
so Halle Berry was busy, and they went with Gabrielle Union.
No, it's going to be great. And so, bless you.
Isn't it?
So it's going to be great. She has to break back into her own house just in time for Mother's Day.
Well, I love that everybody gets a Taken now.
Yeah.
You know, you get a Taken and you get a Taken. Everybody, like after you hit 40, then it's like, all right, give me some Liam Neeson.
Yes.
I need to save my children.
Now
you
we have
know.
badass women getting
Yeah.
their Taken. So Matt and I will go see that tonight.
In a high-tech house. Like that trailer, that's a
Yeah.
great trailer.
It is. So we'll review that tomorrow. And then you're going someplace tomorrow night that's of interest.
I'm going to the solo premiere,
Oh.
which I only go to premieres if it's the only chance that I have to see it before the embargo breaks, which is the deal with Avengers: Infinity War, or because I have a friend who really loves that stuff, and so I go to take him.
The friend other than me, because I don't get invited
Yeah,
to the
well,
premieres
because
anymore.
this friend got in on that action when you were getting yourself into that stuff, so I can't be responsible for the fact that you work here now, and so no one cares.
And Alonso's known this person longer.
That's true.
This person's been like the
We've been friends
the
for
veteran plus
like
one.
25 years.
Yes.
All right.
So and
I'll
then
allow it.
eventually Matt and I will see it too, but not with as many celebrities, and we'll talk about that eventually as well.
Premieres, I'll tell you, everybody, I know they have like contests and you get to come to LA for a premiere in Hollywood. They're generally a pain in the ass.
It is time consuming.
The parking is a nightmare, and like you have to go through a million security checks and yada. You don't get to pick where you sit. It never starts on time, and there's
Never
always a
starts on
speech beforehand from the producers. Trust me, for the most part, you're not missing anything.
It's not as glamorous as it seems, right? And with a
No.
giant cast like you're going to have in Solo, it will probably take about an hour for everybody to get inside.
You are
Exactly.
entirely wrong. A Star Wars premiere is awesome.
Okay.
The food's good. They do.
Do they have, like, themed
there's-
canapes?
There's a nice spread. It's like a good bar mitzvah.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. We also have sad news to talk about.
Yes.
Anne V. Coates, the legendary Oscar-winning editor, groundbreaking, trailblazing editor, has died. She was 92. She died at the Motion Picture Home in Woodland Hills, where so many longtime veteran Hollywood people die. If you ever see that someone has died in Woodland Hills, no, it's true.
Jesus,
They
don't
go there to retire. It's not like a hospice.
My point in saying this is that when you see somebody dying in Woodland Hills,
It's at the
that's
Motion
why.
Picture Home. Okay, fair enough.
because it's dangerous.
Anyway, Anne V. Coates is amazing. Anne V.
She's
Coates, she did the most famous match cut ever in history, in Lawrence of Arabia, with blowing out the match, and then
the
it goes to the
sun.
sunrise,
Yeah.
and it's brilliant.
That
and
was
blinding.
her Oscar, but she also did Out of Sight and In the Line of Fire and The Elephant Man and Aaron Brockovich and the original Murder on the Orient Express,
Yes.
which seeing the new Murder on the Orient Express makes me appreciate the editing
Sure.
of the first one, just cutting back and forth with all those characters and stuff. She was a genius.
Yeah, and the movies you mentioned, Elephant Man, In the Line of Fire, Out of Sight, and Beckett were her other Oscar nominations. She also got an honorary Oscar. And then we had the honor of...
Yes, Los Angeles Film Critics.
Yeah, she was our Lifetime Achievement winner a couple years ago.
Career Achievement, yeah.
And I'm so thrilled that we were able to see her.
Yeah.
And have her in person there.
We got to honor her and Dee Dee Allen, who like the two of the great editors, period, but certainly the two of the great female editors of the 20th century before we lost them both. So.
Yeah, and one of her last credits, like the last credit that has come out, is 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
So laugh all you want at the 50 Shades movies, but they are shot and they are cut beautifully.
And
production
the first one was written, directed, and edited by women.
There
at
you
least.
go. And so Anne V. Coates is no longer with us. She has an interesting life. She grew up in England, and she knew very early on that she wanted to work in film somehow, but her family had worked in film, and they wanted her to do nothing at all with that, and so she was going to become a nurse, and then became a cutting room assistant at Pinewood Studios.
And that was
the beginning. shooting.
Yeah, and there was a period pretty much where if you wanted to be a woman in the film industry, editing is where they sent you.
Right.
You know, that was somehow seen as like a step above, like there was something sort of vaguely secretarial about it, you know. It was very organized.
It's detail oriented.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like being a script girl, but with cutting things.
It's interesting
you know.
because it's like that take on it. It's the opposite of cinematography, right? Where it's like, oh no, you can't work the camera.
The big picture,
Right?
literally
But,
the big picture.
Once
yeah.
it's all shot, you can develop the film. Like you can string these together. It's okay.
Which is,
because
you
the
know,
director will come in and tell you what to do.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, there are a handful of editors who emerge that way, who stand among the giants, and Coates is certainly one of them.
Well, David Lean wanted her to edit Lawrence of Arabia because he had been an editor himself
He had.
previously, so that was a great vote of confidence for her. So.
And interesting story about Lean as an editor. He started out cutting silent films, and he would later cut sound films as though they were silent films, which drove people nuts. So he would match the shots in the way that he thought they needed to go without thinking about how the dialogue was going. So like, he cut the original Pygmalion, which was later remade as My Fair Lady, and just ignored the dialogue and just cut it visually, and they had to figure out how to make the sound edit work on top of it. It's,
who's talking where and when?
Exactly.
So yeah, so Ambi Coates, a trailblazer, no longer with us, but a genius, and she's prolific. So you can go back and see her touch on many, many films from a wide variety of genres. So so that is happening. Also, MoviePass. Have you used MoviePass, you guys?
I have not. I know some people that do.
If I paid to go to movies more, I would, but
Right.
it's the job, you know.
Right. I know some people that do, and they dig it, but God, that company's bleeding money like crazy.
Yeah. So it's a subscription deal where you pay $9.95 a month. And you can go see as many movies as you want over the course of the month?
Yeah.
Is that about it?
So you can
I
go
think that they limited it, and I know you can't see the same movie more than once on it anymore.
That's a recent development,
That-
though,
they
right?
changed
Like
that.
originally it was you could see pretty much as many movies as you want.
As long as the chain accepted
And the finances seem to be that MoviePass was buying the tickets for you, and then they, based on what was available, and they give you the ticket. So they're like this middleman, but they seem to have been bleeding crazy amounts of money because they didn't get enough subscribers. I mean, I guess the finance play is that you get enough people that are only seeing it, using it a couple times a month.
to make up for the hardcore.
To make up for the hardcore, but doesn't seem like that's going on. And so the recent story talks about how they're going to do something to, they're going through something like $27 million a month since September of last year.
They're losing that much.
They're losing that much money, right? And they're going to do something where they're hoping to reduce their losses by 35%. That's still like...
Yeah, so now they'll just be losing, what, 18
million a month?
That's
like,
crazy.
okay.
Yeah, so the company that owns MoviePass, revealed that they've been losing $27 million a month since September. And so shareholders are worried, and so that stock price is dropping. So they get their tickets from theaters, and then they let members see up to 30 or 31 films a month.
Well, okay, why would a casual film goer bother to buy one and then not use it?
Because $9.95 a month is still cheaper than one ticket.
Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, I guess.
So still cheaper than one ticket.
But that involves some planning still.
Yeah, it says that results in a loss of roughly $26 per subscriber. Anyway, let us know if you're using MoviePass, where you live.
Are you destroying MoviePass?
Yeah, I just don't see, it's a nice idea, but I don't see how it could.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of coverage out of CinemaCon a couple weeks ago, and the thing about MoviePass is it feels like nobody likes them. I mean,
Theaters don't like them.
Theaters don't like them, studios don't like them, nobody likes them.